don't know what I'm doing with most of this stuff, and Hey, we're live. Hey, this is
Oh,
Perch.
hey.
I'm here with Brian. Hey, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. This is hopefully will go better than my appearances on Thinking Critical.
No, that's impossible. That guy, Wes runs a relatively tight ship, and
Yes, he
I run
does.
a goofy ship. So
I actually love being on Thinking Critical every time I show up because I somehow end up taking over.
you derail it. You do a great job. I think that's no, it's fun. That's what we should do to Wes every time. He
Every
should have you
time
on every week.
he should. I should be, well, I'm free now. I mean, my book is done. So yeah, I should have plenty of free time.
Yeah, well, I asked you, so you're awesome because I remembered that I had this thing coming because I'm an awesome planner, and you today you were free today. I'm really thankful.
Oh, yeah. You just happened to catch me when I was off of work. So it just worked out, man.
That worked out. Oh, well, it's very good. Well, I don't know if you've been in the chat before. This is a sloppy, goofy show. I'm drinking. What are you drinking today?
I am drinking Danish mead. It's called Ribsmahud. I probably spelt that all or pronounced that all wrong in Danish, but um, yeah, I have like 4 bottles of the stuff. There is, let's see, that's
Nice.
just the normal version, and then they have Viking's Blood. That one's pretty dope.
That's Norwegian, isn't it?
I don't judge.
Swedish? I don't know. It's fine.
Yeah,
It all goes to the same place.
right. My
Yeah.
belly. So then there's
Yes,
yeah, I got
exactly.
two bottles of Viking Blood, then 2 bottles of something else. I have to reach over and grab them. But yeah, I'm ready to get this thing started.
Now, do you find drinking like this? Does it help make the comics go better?
Yes. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I believe it was I was about to say HR Puff and stuff, but it's not that guy. It was the other famous writer with the beard. Hemingway.
Dr. Seuss.
Hemingway used to say
You're thinking
right
J.K. Rowling.
drunk. Probably. Does she
With
have
the
a beard?
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
top beard or bottom beard?
Yeah, a little you to the side, a little bit behind. It's moist.
Oh, we're so getting demonetized.
Yeah.
But Hemingway
Yeah.
used to say, write drunk, edit sober, and
Yeah.
I've taken that to heart. Where I write drunk and I also edit drunk. So
Yeah. Well, it's best to double down. If one thing's going to work for you, the best approach is to do it twice.
exactly. I'm glad you understand.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. I think that's a wise move. Usually, people wander in here, but hello to everybody who's joined us today. We're like usual. Any and all questions welcome. And I was going through. I had this idea, and then it got derailed. But I was thinking of all the most uncomfortable questions I could possibly ask you during this show, but I didn't write it down, so we'll see where it goes.
Well, there's absolutely nothing you could ask me that will make me uncomfortable. I mean,
excellent.
I've done close to 18 years in the Army, so I mean, heard it all, seen it all,
Yeah,
touched it all. Like I'm actually the brigade gay chicken champion.
Yeah, okay. I have a lot of Army buddies. I understand.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. Jesus. Okay. Well, where are we going here today? Before we get too started and derailed and drunk and everything else, you have a couple projects coming out. I wanted to throw them out up front.
Oh yes.
So let's hear about it. What do we've got 2. And by the way, I admire your persistence to going ahead and going with Kickstarter to piss off all of the the toxic fans, the awful people, the Nazis over on Indiegogo. So good for you with Kickstarter. And then you're also on Indiegogo to piss off all the liberals and the other people on the other side. So way to go.
Oh, thank you. I'm an equal opportunity piss offer person. I hate everybody, so fuck you on the left, fuck you on the right.
Yeah, solid.
So let me get my pitch voice in.
Yes, but let's hear what it is.
me. All right, so we are offering up issues 1 through 6 of Rags, uncensored, floppied, all at the same time. So you back our Kickstarter, you'll get issues 1 through 6, and also on Kickstarter, because you have to have something different on Kickstarter before you run to Indiegogo. We also have a waifu pillow available, so
that you can
do our own. Yes, you can absolutely
Yeah.
have relations with it. It's the full pillow. Some campaigns will just do the shell. I'm giving you the shell and the pillow itself. It will arrive in a not so discreet giant box. So when it arrives to your front door, you'll be shamed at grabbing this thing, and I will be entertained. And that's all that matters at the end of the day.
That's
Roll
good.
that clip.
Yeah. That's perfect. Okay, well, yeah, actually, let's do roll it. So you made a trailer here. I'm going to try putting this out, and then we can make fun of it.
Oh, yes. But before we roll that trailer, I have to say that I did not make that trailer. I guilted Timothy Lim into making this for me.
Oh, it's a Timothy Lim project. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So.
Okay, so we're going to get Thump with no pants on in here.
Maybe.
Okay. All right. No problem. Let's see what happens here.
And play.
And play. Oh, I should turn the volume up.
Our first official Liz Finnegan fanfic. Written by Black Nido.
Uh-oh, yep, they're demonetized.
And Trent Luther Vandross. And that Twitch streamer.
That's nice.
Rags, rated R, coming to a theater near you.
That's wonderful. I think it's a fun series. Obviously, I'm staring at a big pile of books that I can't sell because my shop isn't open. And it's a great property. I think it's a lot of fun.
Oh, thanks, man. I would like to. Oh, you put out a tweet not too long ago that said there's absolutely no way that a book or that a creative team could make money by trolling their audience, and we have done exactly that.
Yeah, that is your MO.
Yeah, that is our MO. Oh, they would like the link in the chat.
Oh yes, I will try and do that while I'm talking. So we will put the link in there. I will also put in the description of the video all the rest. Kickstarter, Indiegogo. Pick which political party you're going to support and buy the book.
Yeah, let's BTFO both sides.
Yeah. Yeah, or you could confuse everybody by buying both, which is, I think, the equivalent of just peeing yourself.
Yes. Yeah. Indiegogo isn't live yet. Nope, not yet. That will be live September.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay, so a month from now. All right. Well, very good. Well, definitely people should get down on that. And it's uncensored, so she's going to have no pants, and you're going to see what's under the no pants.
Yep, and there's also no bunnies this time around.
Oh. Okay.
Forgot to say hi to Yul. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, yeah. Hey, Yul.
Irons. Hi, Evil Shredder. StreamYard is great, Mr. Hernandez. Thank you for the night. Yeah, it's not just nice art; it's great art. And matter of fact, what we're working on right now, because some people, they get done with their projects, like, oh, yep, we're done. That's a wrap. We're going home. Not us. We're actually doing a remaster on our Patreon side of the house. And if I can show my screen,
yeah, let's see it.
I got to pick the right screen.
So you're going to put the pants back on?
Maybe.
I think just if you could do an issue where she's just wearing a casual suit through the whole thing, that would be great. People would be into that. Yeah.
We'll talk.
Oh, I do it this way. Okay, I'm going to add it. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we are completely going back and recoloring the prologue through issue 1, and then we're going to go back up and touch up some of the stuff that we weren't necessarily too happy with or that we had to cut. So we're going to go back to issue 3 and re-add in some of the stuff we had to cut there, and then we're going to release that as a completed trade, completely uncensored. It's going to be on Patreon, or if you hate Patreon, we also have Subscribestar. Yeah. And yeah, I'm actually going back through tonight after this. I'm going to redo like some of the fonts because some of the fonts we were told sucked. So we're going to go back, touch those up, and release a better product for everybody. So
I see. And she's gonna find a gate to Krakoa as well. You're going to tie into Hickman's X-Men, get some of those
Yes,
dollars.
and then she is actually going to take Cyclops away from Jean and Wolverine, and use Cyclops as her own puppet. And that's when we enter Marvel Midgets.
Perfect. Well, I mean, he's always into the redheads, so that's fit. He's a ginger guy, but this could work. Okay, I think you've got a solid business plan. It's going to be great. So yeah, go check that out, everybody. If you haven't seen Rags, you're in for a hell of a ride, and it's good stuff.
Yes, it's only 4% casual racism this time around.
Only 4%.
Only 4%.
Well,
we didn't want to scare off the publisher.
Yeah, I understand. Well, it's a different time now. You got to tone it down. So I understand. I
don't want to get canceled.
No. Nobody wants that.
I might never work in comics ever again. Does Kickstarter and Indiegogo ship at the same time, or will Kickstarter go out first? Kickstarter will definitely go out first.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense because you're a Biden supporter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how it works. That's how it works with those two programs. Hey, as I said at the beginning, bring your questions in. We're both drinking, although Brian's got better drinks than me, so I'm just drinking stupid beer. So
yeah, I'm at like 19% alcohol per volume. I don't know what you're at.
It's like no percent. I mean, this is just Pacifico, so there's like nothing. It's like water. This is pretty much water. You could drink this with ice.
I'm judging you.
Yeah, you should judge. I would definitely judge me. Hey, but anyway, ask your questions. We will answer them both sarcastically and seriously. So, right off the bat, this has been going down. I don't know, Brad, have you been following this? Like, what's going on with Valiant and their crazy office? Have you been following any of this?
I think they're just going down in an earlier round. But sugar, they're going down swinging. They're the number one with a bullet. A loaded gun complex, cock it and pull it.
Nice. Oh, that's a see. You tune to the show, you hear all kinds of crazy things. Good things. Good things. So I watched this whole story with some amount of horror. And if you don't see her from the shows and the other things I do, I mean, I always kind of assume people are going to show up and do the job they're paid to do relatively well, or at least kind of maybe drunkenly well. I don't know. So Valiant says, hey, we're paying for office space we can't use. All right, that makes sense. Save your money, get out of New York rent. All that is fine. And all that's going well. But then they had to go back and kind of want to clarify and nitpick the statement they made, saying, no, we aren't really giving it up. But then you can look up the office on their, for rent. It's coming available in September. Anybody can come and take it. In fact, you can go and scroll around the floor plan. None of this seems like smart.
Nope.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what's going on with Valiant. Nobody's smart.
No. They haven't been smart since what's his name left.
The guy who was smart.
Yeah, the smart guy. He reminded me of the internet guy. Because they had the same sounding name. Can't remember his name.
Dinesh?
Yeah, Dinesh. Yeah, elephant guy from Bloody Roar. He was awesome. Hated him.
Yeah.
You ever play Bloody Roar?
No, what? What's this?
You ever play Bloody Roar?
No.
Oh man, that's a great fighting game for the GameCube.
Oh, I see. I can't even remember back to the GameCube. I vaguely know I bought that at one point, but I have no idea.
Oh, well,
yeah. I know.
That's just
somewhere. Now, do you keep all your game systems and they just collect in a weird little plastic pile somewhere in your house?
Yes and no, right? So I just donated my PS4 to Liz because her house turned into a sewer and she lost most of her game stuff. So I donated that. My PS3 I still have.
Yep.
Oh shit! Well, no, I still have my PS2, my Wii, and my GameCube. Yeah. So yeah, I guess I do still hold on to them and collect them. Except for the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast was like a different story. When I got out of the army, I got bored with things. And so I tend to always try to find a new hobby to keep myself occupied. So the first thing I did was I completely, I started this thing where I would just take people's furniture, restore it, and then give it back to them for no money because I was just bored. I just want something to do. And then after that, I got to thinking like, I wonder if I can repair game consoles. So I ordered a bunch of broken Dreamcasts and repaired them. Just sent them to people.
You just didn't get a pile of broken Gamecasts?
No, the Dreamcasts were broken.
Dreamcast? I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah. And
I'm
then
surprised you're a
through
comic
my
creator.
broken dreams, my own personal broken dreams, I fixed the
Well,
Dreamcast and then sent
those
them
can
out.
never be repaired, but yeah, the Dreamcast could be. I don't know. I'm just you're a comic creator, but you're not just wandering around people's houses playing Pokemon Go.
No,
Hmm.
Pokemon Ghosts are scrub. Real
Yeah.
people just rob houses.
Okay. Well, fair enough. Hey, what's the so you've been producing? What's the most challenging part of producing an independent comic besides being sober enough to sign contracts and things?
Okay. The most challenging part of producing an indie comic is being consistent and meeting the deadlines, right? Luigi's a fantastic artist. Don't get me wrong. I love this. Like, I will probably be sending him money so he can put his kid through college. like when I die, like my inheritance is just going to him. But there's some things that you have to be cognizant of when you're rushing to meet a deadline. And a lot of that's like continuity mistakes. And being an independent creator, you don't have like an editorial team like Marvel and DC would.
Well,
But
they didn't
on the
have
flip side of that, Marvel, yeah, you stole my joke, bud.
Yeah, sorry.
But you're kind of like your own editorial team, so you have to like locate these mistakes before you send them off to the publisher so it goes to print. So try to keep everybody on track and paid, and all that nonsense is absolutely a huge monster. But I will say, if you're absolutely not prepared, the thing that is the most challenging isn't really even that. It's dealing with the speculation market and the hardcore collector crowd. That is the most challenging because if you're not used to dealing with people with extreme sets of attitude, like I'm not used to dealing with extreme sets of attitude. So if people don't know, I spent like at least 18 years in the army. So if someone starts acting like, a child or spurging out or going like the whole, I'm a customer and I'm always right, I just kind of look at them until they go fuck off and do whatever, right? Can't do that as a creator because you start to realize like, oh, you're about to lose money and not just like $5, you lose like $40 because you're not just losing one person, you're losing groups of people at a time. So having that good customer service skill, is key. And if you're like me, you're mostly just antisocial and you don't really deal well with people who are Karens. Yeah.
How do you balance being an indie creator? You're working for yourself. You have a very small group. You are you're your own boss.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you don't have that big corporate backing that allows you to properly groom young women for sex. How do you balance that?
Well, I may not be able to groom young women for sex like all of our pro mainstream heroes. Which,
One
by the way,
day,
I just found out today that I'm pro and mainstream. Go fig. But I do what any other red hot blood American does. I just get my cocaine and my hookers and just do it myself. You just got to put that in there.
It's a DIY project.
Yeah. So you just gotta just set yourself up for success.
Hey, I think your partner in crime here wants to know. I saw on Twitter you're black. Is that true?
I don't know. I'm really not sure. Yeah. It's hard to tell. I mean, my credit score is good. I don't have any felonies. I've never been pulled over for looking like a suspect, so
yeah,
I can breathe. God damn it!
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I went there.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. I guess I'm about to get canceled. But
well, I mean, we were demonetized with the Fall Out Boy impersonation of that trailer, so I mean, it's all right. It's all good at this point.
Damn.
I mean, I'm not. I'm going to get canceled at some point myself but I don't think people know exactly what angle. I keep changing sides, so I don't think they really know how to cancel me properly. So it's all good.
Know what you should do? Just keep a schedule. Like, there's only we're in August, so September, October, November, December. You have like 4 more months, so maybe this month you be anti, and then next month you be for.
And I don't have the patience. I can't go more than a couple hours. So it's it's ADHD. I just like to bounce back and forth. It's fun. You get them hooked, and then you go the other direction. It's fun.
Fine. Kind of like getting a girlfriend and like you actually make her believe that you actually love her, and then you just dump her for no reason.
Exactly. That's exactly what you do. And then you date her mom. Yeah. So George asks, what the actual hell is going on in this conversation? Man, I don't know. But this is when I thought, when I put drinks and comics together in a live stream, this is always what I thought it would be like. So it just had to get to Brian. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Hey, this is, I think, more of a question. Do your kids, because you don't have kids, do you? Or do you have kids?
Oh, no. I only date girls that swallow.
Yeah. Okay. Do your kids have a favorite Straw Hat character they like? This is One Piece. Yeah, my one girl likes Sanji, which worries me a little bit, and the other one likes Nami, which worries me for a different reason. So there you have it.
Well, at least one of those reasons you don't have to deal with boys.
True. So I'm trying to encourage both of them to go that direction. I keep showing them, rags, but my kids are going to get taken away at some point, probably. Hey, is Rags ever going to be in a trade or hardcover? Well, I mean, definitely a trade.
Definitely a trade. So here's the deal. Here's the deal with the trade. So you have like the Antarctic press trade. That is still censored, and the reason
to support Antarctic press anymore.
What's up?
No, nothing. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah. Sure. Lesbians. Anyway,
right.
So the Antarctic press trade, it is there. It's censored still. And that's actually not something we were really planning on doing, but due to the corona pandemic and everybody shutting down, we're like, hey, let's throw them a bone and let them just keep all the profits from that. Because what we're going to do on our other side of the house is we are going to, there's stuff that we still have to cut from issue 7.
Okay.
So we're going to put that back into our trade. And then again, we're going to remaster some pages and we're going to clean it up and make it nice. So on the Patreon side of the house, we're looking at 350 pages.
Wow.
Of stuff. So we're probably going to end up having to do a hardcover or ship those out very slowly over a long period of time to get those to our Patreon and or Subscribe Star backers.
Well, so I gotta ask. So, why'd you have to cut stuff out? Was it just to get it past Antarctic press?
No, just time and page count, right? So, if there's one thing that you probably haven't noticed about Rags, or maybe you did, Rags is actually in a very irregular page count for a comic book. Most comics are, 16 to 20 pages, and then front cover, inside front, back cover, back, inside back, right? Ours is not like that. And the reason that it's not like that is because it was never written with the intention to go to print.
Ah, okay.
It was written with the intention of, LOL, we're going to make this webcomic and it's going to be dumb. And so we just kind of wrote it and, hey, that feels like a good spot to end. And then we ended it. And then we moved on to the next section by section, right?
Yep.
So Marvel being trolled because they were canceling, but yeah. So what was I saying? Yeah, so it was never designed to be for print, and so once we got picked up by Antarctic Press, we had to cut stuff in order to meet our deadlines so that it could go to the printer in a timely fashion. So that was nuts.
So when you're thinking of, based on your relationship with Antarctic Press and everything you've done, and you're thinking about kind of what to put in the comic and how to pace the story, do you get input from Mark Waid at the beginning of the process or more toward the end once the pieces have been done?
He tends to put in input, but then I tell him to go suck a bag of baby dicks. This is my project. Yeah. He doesn't sign my paycheck, and he's also not my first line supervisor.
Oh, I didn't know that's how it worked. You mean you just want to go away?
Yeah, I just tell him to go away. Like, who the fuck are you? You don't sign my paycheck.
Huh. Oh, well, okay. That's a pretty straightforward answer. Yeah.
Yep.
We're just going to continue. So, would Marvel hire you?
Would Marvel hire me? No, but Marvel was
they should
under no, they couldn't afford me. Under Axel Alonso.
That's true.
They were actually trying to grab Luigi from under us.
Really?
Yep. Him and good old Joe Quesada.
Wow. Oh, can you tell them more about that? Were they offering him like the standard $25 page rate?
Probably less. I actually don't tell people what I pay Luigi a month.
That's probably smart.
Could Marvel get him maybe if they threw out like the big bucks,
Like $30 a page.
No, man.
Hmm.
I'll type this in chat. Actually, you know what? Because
Yeah.
all right, we'll just do this in chat. 10 times 10,
Mhm.
whatever that equals.
Oh, okay. Yeah, how do we get into math?
Math?
Yeah.
Math
Math.
is great.
Math makes sense. Math makes sense. Yeah. That checks out.
Yeah, so yeah, that guy gets let's see, he gets $1,000 from Patreon and then like 1,500 from me, like every month to just draw whatever I feel like. So
Yeah. Oh, okay. Very good. No, I am being facetious, by the way. Marvel just pays more than $25 a page, but they are cheap. Is the answer. So I think so. You have a pitch for Squirrel Girl that we've talked about before. That is actually a good pitch. That they should.
Yes.
There's no Squirrel Girl comic being published right now, so you might as well do it. So what's that pitch? What does that look like?
Okay, all right. So check this out, right? So you got to start back in the X-Men in order to get this all set up right, because I'm all about the setup, right?
Okay.
So you have Doreen go back to the X-Men to be like a teacher, babysitter, or whatever, right? Pay off some student loans. Well, she accidentally stumbles upon, a secret X-Force meeting, right?
Okay.
And instead of, getting killed on the spot, they're like, hey, that's the undefeatable Squirrel Girl. Why don't we take her along, right? So she gets pulled into X-Force and goes on some super covert ops.
COVID meeting, yeah.
It's COVID ops.
Spreading stuff everywhere. That's what's going on.
So she just goes on like all these covert ops missions, and then on a mission to go and finally completely assassinate Mr. Sinister, she goes missing for a time, right?
Yeah.
Now we flash forward a couple of years later, and all the male heroes in the Marvel universe start disappearing one by one.
Okay. So pretty much the Marvel universe.
Yeah, pretty much the Marvel universe, right?
Okay.
Like, you get it happens with like the Hulk first goes missing, and then Wolverine goes missing, and then Spider-Man. Both Spider-Men go missing.
Okay.
Ghost Rider, Silver Surfer, Galactus, like everybody, like all the males are just starting to inexplicably vanish, right?
Okay.
And so all Captain Marvel and She-Hulk. Oh wait, yeah, Captain Marvel. Yeah, she goes missing too.
Yep.
Because they weren't sure.
Yeah, I understand.
It was a mistake. It was like, that haircut, you could. No, we're just gonna play this safe and take you just to make sure. Anyway,
better safe than sorry. Yeah.
Exactly. So all the all the male heroes go, and then She-Hulk and fucking forgot the other character I had. But anyway, She-Hulk and Spider-Woman. So She-Hulk and Spider-Woman start investigating, like, who in the heck is kidnapping and hoarding all of these
who's hoarding them in?
Yeah, who's hoarding them in? Like, where are the main heroes going, right?
Yeah.
And turns out She-Hulk stumbles upon Daredevil fighting for his life, and the big reveal would be, he's fighting an evil Squirrel Girl, right?
Yeah.
And
she's after the nuts.
She's after them nuts, like white on rice and a glass of milk and a paper plate in a snowstorm.
Yeah.
So, I love Major Pain. Anyway, so She-Hulk steps in and is like, I'm gonna trounce this bitch because I'm She-Hulk. That's a squirrel. And then she ends up getting her ass handed to her like 8 different ways from Sunday. So anyhow, after She-Hulk wakes from her hospital visit with Kitty Pryde and Spider-Woman and some of the other female heroes, they try to figure out how the hell did Squirrel Girl turn evil, especially since she's gone missing from that mission to kill Sinister. Anyway, we all eventually find out that Mr. Sinister has captured poor Doreen and cloned her, turned her into an evil clone, and it's pretty much been torturing her for this entire time. So
perfect.
So they go back to Sinister's lair to find, Mr. Sinister's like gone, like he's dead, like he's been brutally like murdered. There's no coming back from whatever it was, right? And as they look through his compound, they find a really weak, tortured, chained up Doreen, like some pretty much really, we're talking like R-rated anime style, like beaten, bloodied, just in a brick brick cell, just
All right, so people
Anyway,
in the chat at this point really should be either upping or downing this idea. So it's
no, this is gonna get better. This is gonna get
we made everybody very silent at this point.
right, but no, this gets better, right?
Okay.
So anyway,
Yeah.
they rescue Squirrel Girl, they rehabilitate her, and they try to figure out what the heck happened. So Squirrel Girl recounts the story about like, hey, she stumbled onto this X-Force meeting, she got dragged into X-Force, and they had this plan to go kill Mr. Sinister, and they all got wiped out but her. And then he's cloned her. He's done, he's cloned her a billion times, and he finally got a clone of her that was just like him, but a little bit more evil, but with all the power sets. And then he went ahead and gave that clone adamantium bones, almost like Wolverine, to make her even more ridiculously unbeatable. And then he went and saw Mephisto and imbued her with a squirrel demon, almost like Naruto, and it has to be this over the top, otherwise it doesn't work. Anyway, so so they find out all this, and
This
they're like,
is a million copy seller right here.
oh, dude, no, it gets better. So anyway, they find out, like, okay, so now this evil Squirrel Girl has captured all the Marvel male heroes, but they don't know what she's doing with them.
Having sex
So they don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
I'll step back.
Don't spoil this, right?
Don't
So
spoil it.
they find her hideout, and it's gonna be like in MODOK. She's took over the MODOK AIM Lab mobile thing, right? She's taken that over, and now she's gonna start for her next plan collecting all the evil villain male heroes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they break into the lab, they fight their way through the AIM people, they get to, the final boss, which is Evil Squirrel Girl, and they're like, okay, what is your evil plan, Evil Squirrel Girl? And turns around and
oh no.
She lips up the wall of the screen of the room she's in, and it's all the male heroes, and they're all getting milked.
God damn it.
And the reason why they're getting milked.
Who's drawing this?
I will. Me and Luigi are going to draw this anyway.
Okay.
So all the male heroes are getting milked, and she's taking their DNA.
Right. Sure.
So she could recreate her own army of super squirrels. So there's like evil squirrel Spider-Man in a tube, Weapon X Scroll in the tube, like they're all in the tube. So she's trying to make baby squirrels create her own squirrel army, because Squirrel Girl had who was that? Monkey Joe and Tippy Toe. And so she wants that, and she's never had it. So her being a partial clone of Mr. Sinister, she's got all the sciencey stuff. So she does all the science, as they call it.
Oh dear God.
And
in the industry, though, why not? We should try this. Right.
So then, She-Hulk, Squirrel Girl, Spider-Woman, with the help of plot armor no jutsu, end up, saving all the male heroes, destroying all the evil squirrels, right? And throughout this whole fight, they're just all their heroes are getting pulled out. The mutant squirrels are getting destroyed, and as the mutant squirrels are getting destroyed, there's going to be like this part where evil Squirrel Girl's like, no, my babies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going to be like an evil thing. It's meant to be like this real motherly thing. Like, no, my babies, you killed my babies.
This isn't an evil thing at this point.
No, it's not evil. It's actually like a mother trying to protect her young.
Sure.
Right. So it's like, hey, no, my babies, you've murdered my babies. And like, she stops fighting people. Like she'll be like taking Iron Man laser blast to the face and be like, whatever, but you've murdered my baby. He never had a chance to live. He never had a chance to walk in Thailand across this bridge. And she'll pull up a picture of like the bridge in Thailand with like the two hands. and 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 finally they try to explain it like, you kidnapped over 100 dudes and literally raped them to create these babies. And Evil Squirrel be like, oh, but is that wrong? I mean, Mr. Sinister did it, and that's the only life I know. So now you have like this Squirrel Girl who it turns into like she didn't really know right from wrong, but she's still a villain because, you know, she's just like, oh, this is just the thing you do. Like, this is how you make stuff. So anyway, she finally manages to save what scroll was it? Oh, Deadpool Scroll. Because why not?
Well, sure. You can always use more Deadpool.
Always. We need another Deadpool. Actually, we should not make it Deadpool. We should make it like who's like the worst Marvel character I can think of that's not Captain Marvel.
There's so many to choose from right now.
Oh God, there's so many. Like we should pick like an Inhuman, like Puck. Yeah, we'll do Puck. We'll do Puck from Alpha Flight.
Wait a minute. You mean Alpha Flight like Puck?
Yeah, sure. Tomato, potato. Anyway, so she'll save like one squirrel. She'll save one squirrel and then escape, right? And, you know, self-destruct sequence, blah blah blah. Yeah, once again, the day is saved. But Squirrel Girl is just like so extremely traumatized from this experience.
Well, sure. Along with the readers, yeah,
along with the readers and, you know, everyone else listening to the stream. So everyone's just like so like traumatized from this experience. It's just one of those. This never happened. We're never acknowledging this happened. We're never going to talk about this ever again. And Peter Parker, you know, Spider-Man being Spider-Man's like, yeah, I'm gonna need some therapy. And they like the epilogue will be like Tony Stark walking into like an AA meeting, and it's all the male superheroes unmasked, like even Thor just sitting there like, hi. Like no one's acknowledging that, like, ew, that's Matt Murdock, so you're probably Daredevil. Like no one's acknowledging this, but everyone's just sitting in this room like to talk about the trauma that they just went through with Squirrel Girl and being milked for like days.
If you're just joining us, we're talking about Squirrel Girl milking the male superheroes of the Marvel Universe, and you're just going to have to rewind and understand how we got here.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll
Well, I think it's a great idea. We gotta do that. So
yeah, I'll probably get sued, so I'll probably have to do it like as like a fan comic.
Yeah.
Or a one-off.
That's okay. I definitely think it's worth spending several years putting time into that.
It's gonna take me all 20 minutes.
It's well, you delivered. That was the crazy idea I was hoping for.
Yeah. And then there's my Exile reboot, but no one's gonna like that one.
I'm tempted. You know, though, I think that title I think would sell better than the ongoing series did.
Oh, most definitely, because we'll get like a legit artist that's not Laura Henderson.
Yeah.
Louise Henderson, whatever her name was.
Erica Henderson.
Patrick Henderson.
One of those.
It'll come to me.
Henderson was in there somewhere.
Yeah. Harry Henderson.
Harry and the Hendersons.
Barry. Where's Barry?
Hey. Okay, so somebody's asked a few questions. Let me get to this. Yes, I did a video with Wes earlier about Marvel being in trouble because they're canceling a book. No, just for the reference, it's no, I don't think Marvel's in trouble because they're canceling books. They should cancel some books. Honestly, they have too many things going on, which you identify here. Marvel is doing too much. They're flooding the shelves. They should have a more lean and trim line of books. I was cautious to really go in and talk about Marvel being in trouble or not. I mean, it's hard to say exactly what's going on. I think the point was that there's troubling signs, and the troubling signs are simply that, you know, the stuff's coming a little bit more random. I always feel really bad. I don't know. Tell me what you think, Brian. The last couple books Marvel has canceled, like they don't even announce it as a company. They make the creators go on social media and like announce it themselves. It always feels like they're being kind of punished and they have to go and explain what they did.
I did something and I'm so shamed. I have to announce my shame to the world.
Yeah, it's like
that's exactly how it sounds like. So actually, let's talk about that. One thing I've learned as like an indie creator person, and this is actually kind of funny once you start thinking about this, even in terms of mainstream. The publishers and the companies, they don't really push books, dude.
No, they don't. You're right.
No, they don't. Like, you as a creator, you're your own marketing team. You're your own advertisement team. Like, you're your sometimes your own editor. But it's like they don't really put money into pushing projects unless it's going to be super cringe, like New Mutants.
Well,
I mean, they'll do like a YouTube video, but that's about it. Like, they won't go hard like make a billboard or something. And if you as a creator, like, you want to do like like if I want to do a TV spot for Rags, I'd have to crowdfund that.
Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, so, but what's weird about Marvel in particular, but they're all like this, but Marvel more than others is like they get J.J. Abrams and his son, and whatever breakdown was actually writing that book. They get Sarah Pacelli and they put her on that, and it was a big deal. Like, this was a comic that was going to sell 1 million copies, and there was there's some marketing right at the beginning, and then as soon as that first issue dropped, like there's now zero marketing. Like,
oh yeah, it's like we dropped issue number 1, we got our giant influx of sales. All right, now to the next number 1.
Yeah, and then the
next number 1, and the next number 1. Like, all anybody ever cares about is that next number 1 that they can sell, right?
It's crazy though. I mean,
it is actually crazy, and that's actually something I experienced too, to a degree. I need more mead.
Yeah, but why? I mean, why bother with any number 2 issues at this point? I think Marvel. I mean, the smartest thing for them, based on the way they behave,
just sell everything as number 1s.
Just everything's a number 1. It's all number 1s. I mean, imagine the great react. The collectors would love that if just everything was number 1 always. Every title number 1. Every title is a reboot. Every title is a bold, new, exciting era. Status quo changing. You won't believe what's happening. It's just all number 1s all the time.
And yep, this will change the universe forever until our next changing universe event.
Yeah, just every week, every month, number 1 issue. Just fuck it.
Number 1 event with 19 crossovers.
Yeah,
98 variant covers.
I mean, in many ways, they're screwing up Empire. I mean, like, so Empire, which got delayed and everything else, it's 6 issues. Yeah, issue number 3 dropped, and the creators had to go on wherever the hell they were going on, social media or somebody's video, and explain to people that there still was action coming in the other 3 issues. I mean, how weird is it that you've got a 6-issue event limited series and the creators have to show up halfway through and go, "Don't worry, there's still going to be more action in this comic"? Isn't that weird?
It's bonkers, mate. It's absolutely mental. And this is kind of like my issue with like the comic book industry as a whole, versus the actual novel writing industry. So if you're writing a novel, you have like a marketing team that Marcus does all this marketing and stuff for you. You know, you don't have to go out and do this yourself. You're not, as a creative team, going out and making these announcements, right? You'll have like, you know, your corporate person doing all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I don't know why that is in comics. Like, comics is weird. Comics is absolutely weird. Comics is like one of those really weird industries. And it's like you have to be your own marketing team, your own editing team. You have to make sure that like you may be working with like legacy characters like a Spider-Man, but you know, instead of like the company making announcements on Spider-Man, you're gonna be the one making the Spider-Man announcements. And it's
Mm-hmm.
and it's just so surprising that, you know, the companies are just that distance from their product. It's absolutely weird.
Well,
Absolutely weird.
Why bother in the first place getting started with some of this stuff? I mean, it seems like a big waste for them to even bother putting this material together. But I always feel sad, like the poor Black Cat team kind of has to come out and be like, "Well, sorry guys, the comic is canceled, but we'll be back again later. You know, hope you follow us." And it's like, why, like, and I mean, man, to me, it feels like the publisher always has just no balls that they can't just put out something going,
hey, leave my family out of this.
No, okay, well, fair enough. They need to go be milked by Squirrel Girl, but I mean, it's like, can you not put out just a press statement of some kind? I mean, so Black Cat's going to show up in King in Black apparently, but why are you making the creators, who are your independent contractors, do all that legwork for you? Do you have a marketing department? Is a marketing department actually like a Mac Mini that sits on a shelf somewhere that gets turned on every now and then. It's very strange.
It is, yeah, it is absolutely strange, and it's kind of like they're too focused on being a lifestyle brand, you know, and they don't care about what has brought people together to throw money at them year after year, day after day, and which is their comic books. But they're just gonna flood the shelves with whatever it is, and it will quote unquote sell. And not because people are buying it off the shelves, it's because comic shops have to order it. So it's
no, it's weird. And like Reed is saying here, keep in mind that not only do you have to kind of self-cancel and self-hustle, at the same time, if you promote the comic and somebody runs afoul of it, they get pissed at you. Like there's been many people at Marvel who on the art team and the writing team, they go out and they try and do promotions and they get their hands slapped for doing it. And it's like, so don't do anything to help support the book you're on to keep yourself employed, because we're not going to do anything. But by the way, when we finally decide to cancel it, we're not going to say anything. So you can go out and say what you want and just, I mean, what a
unless you're Donny Cates, then you can say whatever you want.
I get. Oh yeah, I mean, you get made to some extent. I think Cates is able to do it to some extent, but Cates also his interview style feels very made for Marvel in a lot of cases. It's like he'll come out and like, I'm a punk rock. It's like, oh, okay, all right.
Hello, fellow kids.
Yeah, it feels so goofy to me. But anyway, I find this all very, very strange. If you're going to put the money up to actually do a comic, get the stuff out and get it all in place, and then you kind of forget that you have it. And this is not an exaggeration. I have been at shows. We've gone to the retailer summits. I've gone to Comic Pro. We've talked to people, and we'll say, "Hey, what's going on with this title? Is it still going? It's not." And the representative from Marvel, David Gabriel, others will go, "Oh, I'm not sure if we're still publishing that." And it's like, but
it's like, how do you not know? That's your job to know.
You're the head of publishing. It's not like I don't know. Comic fans are always amazing because we keep all of this insane data in our heads, all this continuity, and you can, the stereotype, the comic nerd is like, well, in issue number 63, the Galactus had pants. I mean,
like I remembered Squirrel Girl had Monkey Joe.
There you go.
Right before he got murdered in Great Lakes Avengers number 2, I think it was. Probably 3.
I think that more like the big two need to go out and hire more fans to work for their company who actually can remember what's being published, because the people who get in there. I mean, the other one is, I don't know if you've seen this, but you hear writers talking like, okay, I'm going to do this title. So I went back and I tried to read a bunch of the old titles to kind of get myself familiar with the character. And I'm going like, what, you have to go do that? Like if you're getting the job coming on to X-Men or Spider-Man or Batman or Superman or whatever, I'd kind of hope you've read those comics already. Like,
well, all right. Let's look at the quality of writer that they are picking, right? Let's take Mariko Maki, right? She's more of like the Joss Whedon young adult. I'm gonna write the Hunger Games type of author. She's not a comic book author.
Yeah,
right.
No, it's true.
It's like you're trying to hire this. Okay, how do I put this? How do I say this? All right. So you're trying to hire a chef who specializes in making pizza to run a 5-star or 3 Michelin star restaurant in France, right? Like, sure, the guy can cook, but he's not a 3-star chef.
And you don't want to pay them. And also, you are part of the qualifications for hiring them is that they used to work in the video store you used to work in.
Right. So, like, you're just really getting, like, people. You're pretty much pulling people from fanfiction.net to go write your stuff.
It's nuts. I mean, and keep in mind, I'm not saying you shouldn't research these comics when you go onto them. I just think you should kind of have a pretty good sense going in. Like, I'm always struck by people like, I really got to know Wonder Woman in reading kind of the last 5 years of comics. I didn't realize she had these adventures. It's like, wait a minute. You didn't realize the last 5 years? Like, is that as far back as you went? I think that is. What? I don't mean to get all... I'm drinking anyway. So what do you think? Hey, what's your best and worst comic right now from the big two?
Oh man, I've actually dropped the big two. I gotta stop reading
So
because
all of them and
it's
none
all
of them.
garbage, right? It's like so. I want to read. I'm actually more of like a DC guy when it comes to big two,
Mhm.
but there is like some Marvel stuff that I actually did like. Like I did like the first run of Spider Gwen up until they stopped and then renumbered it. And
Right.
my problem with Spider Gwen was that it felt like they were rushing the character just to get her in line with the main with like the main Marvel universe. And Spider Gwen to me was a character. She had her like her own alternate universe, and you could take your time with it. Like
Yeah.
that was a character you let it go issue 1 to issue 99 and just let it play out very very slow. And they didn't let her have that. And that's kind of like the downfall of like new comic characters these days. It's like you have to rush to get them up to speed to where,
Mhm.
Spider-Man and Namor, and so they can be an Avenger or X-Men or whatever. Like, no, just let these characters have a life, right?
Yeah.
Spider-Gwen had great design, and the story was there from issue 1 through like 5, and then it just kept jumping the shark. Like you introduced Venom too quick, or like her symbiote too. Like you hit it hit all the story beats of Peter Parker so fast that it was just like, oh, we're just gonna hit all these beats so we can throw it in the 616 universe, and then that's it. And
Yeah.
that was why that story failed. Um, that's why I kind of stopped reading Marvel books. And then you have DC, who has like DC has like the best continuity in my mind. Like they love them, hate them. Like they usually just stick to their continuity, but they reset their universe so much. It's like, man, why do you even bother? Like,
I don't know
here
why
we
they
go
bother.
again. Why am I starting from number one? I don't want to read the same origin story over and over and over and over and over again.
I
Like,
don't think that many people get confused at DC's continuity. I know they internally at the company there's this belief that they have to reboot, they have to shuffle because no one will be able to follow this stuff around. But I think most people are fine. I don't think they think about it that much.
yeah,
But
most people
DC,
are absolutely fine. But if you just constantly reboot to tell the same origin story over and over and over again,
oh yeah,
what's going to happen is people are going to get bored because it's kind of like rewatching your favorite series in a different art style 5 or 8 times. It's like, okay, I already know how this is going to go. I already know that gag. I already know how this is going to go. And why should I keep watching this if they're just going to just change the art style and restart from from the beginning over and over and over again, right? It's like, oh, hey, they're going to do a new Spider-Man movie. Like, oh, great, we get to see Uncle Ben die again. Yay. But then, they throw a sort of a loop with Spider-Man Homecoming, so props to you there. Like, even
yeah.
us, right? When we started out, we're like, yeah, we're kind of a zombie comic, which was part of our troll campaign. And people
Mhm.
were like, oh, yeah, okay, so it's just another Walking Dead, but with tits. But then you finally got people reading it, and it's anything but that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm not sure if you've read the digital last issue yet, but it's hilarious. Oh,
It's
it's so fucking hilarious.
it's a very good comment. If you haven't, if you're joined us late, you're coming in as Brian from Rags. Absolutely, we'll put the links up both in the description and in the chat. I should be pasting it in. I don't know what I'm doing here, and we'll have the banners up everywhere. You'll be able to get to this book. It's a good book. Great stuff. Good value for the if you're willing to just go digital, you can get it really cheap. I think it's great.
Yep, $7 for all 7 issues
Yeah.
because in no reality should a digital book cost you more than the physical copy. I will die on that hill.
Yeah.
I
No,
will absolutely die on that hill. And
you're
hey, you
correct.
know what? As long as you're not pirating my stuff, I will absolutely do my best to keep it cheap or get it out there to you. Hey, look, even if you can't afford the physical books, just maybe you might be able to cover shipping. Throw me $10. Yeah, I will absolutely do my best to get stuff out to you. There's absolutely no way in this day and age people should be missing out on comic books or having to spend 5, 6,
Mhm.
7, $800 on a stupid variant. Now, if that's
Absolutely.
like graded in CTC, that's a different story. I'm actually like say, yeah, you probably should be like $250 for that shit because that shit's expensive. But everything else, hey, you really shouldn't be paying like up the wazoo for books. It's
You should,
it's
yeah, no, you should be. Well, we'll give out to real quickly on my. So the worst, the best comic. There's a lot of things that come and go. I do think Daredevil's got a really good run right now. I actually think they're doing good things in both Batman and Detective over in DC. I think there's some good. There are plenty of good individual stories out there, good little runs. For me, Legion of Superheroes and Iron Man 2020, which I did the thing with Wes on, but those two wrestle it out for just the most painful comic. And anybody who's coming to my channel, I don't do roasts, but my God, it is so hard with, I mean, I don't touch Legion of Superheroes because I open that up and I'm like, I can't understand why in the fuck they're doing what they're doing on that title. I just do not understand. And Iron Man 2020 just feels like just a shot to the face every single time I read that comic. And now that said, it does appeal to some people. And if that's you, no shame, no problems, but you're a braver man than me.
Who's writing Legion of Superheroes? Is that Bendis?
That is Bendis, yeah.
Oh, well, then there's your problem.
Yeah. No, it is almost
like hold on. Like, look. You can actually look at like all the comics written as of late, and you'll see there's a common denominator like across the board with how the books turn out, right? And that Slott, Bendis, and Eric Henderson. Eric.
One of those.
John
Henderson.
Barry. Where's Barry? Yeah.
Barry.
Yeah, but like What's His Nuts and Bendis, like they write a certain way in a certain style. And you can only have I don't like creative teams swapping too much on a book, right? But having Dan Slott on Spider-Man, knowing that Dan Slott absolutely hated Spider-Man, was a bad call.
Yeah.
He should have been pulled off of Spider-Man like 10 years ago. Even though, I hate to admit this, I did like Superior Spider-Man. I'm one of the few.
No, it did well. I mean, there was a time at Marvel where they were doing that, and the Jane Foster thing. There was like enough of an experiment, something different that people were into it, and then it's like, hey, did you like those two? Here's 20 more, and that was the problem.
Yep.
They cannot have, so poor Manchun. So you've been asking this question a bunch. I apologize. This has been a really great free-flowing conversation, like it always is. So thank you again, Brian. But when do you guys think the Inhumans will be back? So I actually know the answer to this officially.
Well, I don't ever think the Inhumans were black, so I don't understand this question.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. Nice. Damn it! I can't. Now I got to do this. I got to give the straight answer after that. Good point.
Well, why does it have to be straight?
It is, now that I come to think of it, the Inhumans are just kind of a big kind of white supremacy organization. It appears.
I don't think the Inhumans are going to be back for a hot minute, and the reason being is because they've always been like the discount X-Men.
Yeah. Well, they're back in in about 2.5 months. So at the conclusion of Empire, we're going to get more Inhumans.
Yay! That's like the thing everybody wanted.
Yeah, they're going into space, and I think there's going to be at least some Inhumans present somewhere tangentially to King of Black, but supposedly the new Marvel universe in space will have place for the Inhumans. So if you are a fan of the Inhumans, within the next year, they will be back. Maybe black, maybe some. I don't know.
You know what we should do to the Inhumans while they're in space?
Yeah.
We should send them TV movies. The worst we can find. They'll have to sit and watch them all. We'll monitor their minds. Now keep in mind, Black Bolt can't control when the movies begin or end. They'll try to keep his sanity with the help of his robot friends.
As soon as we can get on a plane, I'm flying down. This will be the face reveal. I will go down. I will do one of these streams with Brian. We'll be in a bar. We'll set up a camera somewhere. We're both just going to get drunk. It's going to be an amazing time.
Oh, I feel sorry for that bar. We're going to get kicked out.
That is exactly it. We'll go up to Old Town.
Oh, fuck Old Town. No, we should go to, so I have this spot. I'm a local celebrity there. We should go there. Okay.
There's a tequila bar in Old Town I'm always partial to, but.
Oh, which one?
It's got a second story. I don't I have to get the name of it.
Oh, okay. So let's okay.
It's relatively small.
Is it above the liquor store?
There's a yes. There's
There's
a
a
little
liquor store on the
small parking lot. There's a liquor store there. It's like a small little hole in the wall place.
Yeah, I know exactly the spot you're talking about because I
Yeah.
used to work in that building behind it.
Okay. Yeah, it's like about 4 blocks down, roughly, I would say, from the city center area where the tourists come. And
Yeah.
I've had many a drunken time with Marvel people there at that bar.
Oh, that's where those scumbags hang out.
You've seen many troubles. There you go. What do you think about legacy numbering? So, do you think
they should bring it back? They should absolutely bring it back. They should absolutely bring legacy numbering back.
Totally agree.
Fuck renumbering. Okay, all right. This is kind of personal, right? So, I love you, Antarctic Press. I really, really do. But this numbering really kind of just like makes me angry. So what we got told for what we should do for Rags was do a issue 1 through 4, take a break, renumber like take a break, restart everything, and then restart again at a new number 1. And I'm absolutely 110% against doing stuff like that because a number 1 should be a number 1. It's like that's your starting point, right?
Yep.
Like you should not have a new starting point unless it's a new creative team, and unless somebody buys the rights from me for $10.8 million. That is a very specific number, mind you. There shouldn't ever be like another Rags number 1. There will be a Rags number 8, a Rags number 9, and probably up until, as far as I can take it, till the day I die. But there should never be a new Rags number 1 starting the world off in a way you've never seen Rags before, because we've already done it.
What about Rags Alpha or Omega?
No, we already did a prologue. It's done.
What about like Rags 8-point Rags?
No, like even like the 8-point things, like God, just keep it in sequence. There's no, if it's like 8.5, what is it, like half a comic book? So it's like 10 pages.
How about Rags Strike Force?
Rag Strike Force? Ooh, actually, I actually might do like a Rag Strike Force. That actually might be a whole separate thing, but I may or may not, like, you have to have like the right crew on it. You have to actually have like the right crew on it, otherwise it just wouldn't work. Because Rags is Rags is just one of those books. Oh, we have Day Zero, which is our prologue. Yeah. So there.
How about a Rags 1/2 where they go to China, they fall in a cursed pool, and they turn into animals when water falls on them?
Oh, that's Rags season 8.
Okay. All right. I think that works.
Yeah. So, but honestly, legacy numbering, man, is just like it's a pet peeve of mine. Like every time I see like if I see like a new number 1 of Spider-Man, I'm absolutely not buying it.
Yeah.
Absolutely just not buying it because it's bullshit. Like there shouldn't be a new Spider-Man number 1. The Spider-Man number 1 was back in like what, 65?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the OG Spider-Man number 1. And that should always be the number 1.
Yeah, I agree. I think legacy numbering. So I don't think people are confused. There's these weird myths that get in the heads of people in the industry. But I again, it's weird how simultaneously they view their audience as, we're writing clever things, we're writing storylines, we're giving a lot of nuance to the comic, and we're doing all this stuff, but they're not bright enough to figure out numbering. So we do have to keep renumbering things because they can't possibly follow things when they get into 3 digits. It's impossible. It's a very weird behavior from the publishers there, but I'm all for legacy numbering always.
It really is. It's like on one hand, it's like, yeah, our audience is smart, but then on the other side, it's like our audience is they're such children. They can't understand things like numbers or letters. They'll never get it.
Yeah, I don't get it. How much do you need? No, I will at some point mess up and do a roast video that will go farther than I intend, and I'll upload it and then I'll regret it. But I'm gonna be too lazy to pull it back down. And then
should bring me in it so then we can say racist stuff, and then I could just say, look, I'm black. I was cool with it.
Yeah, and I can be like, I don't know what to do. I can't control anybody.
Amen.
That's the way it works. That's the way it works here. I do. Yeah, I'll get myself into trouble at some point. Hey, what do you think about Snyder stepping back from capes?
That sucks because that means we're just gonna see a lot more Bendis, and God, I mean, don't get me wrong, I loved when Bendis was handling the Ultimate Universe, but that's about it.
Yeah, he's better over there.
he was so much better over there. But man, that guy, his writing just fills up the pages, and it's God.
I think there's this problem that he is he needs an editor, but he believes, and or maybe the company believes, or both believe, that he's too big for an editor to kind of step on his ideas or change things. But
No, what the problem is? The problem is Bendis is trying to write a novel.
yeah, he should just
Plain
get
and simple. He's just trying. That's what he needs to do. Just step back and write a fucking novel, dude.
Yeah.
Like that's all he's doing. He's just writing a novel, and there. I'll say this. I'll try not to be too on the nose here, but there's just sometimes you need to have a comic that has pages that has absolutely nothing on it.
Yeah. Yes.
Nothing. Just let the art tell the story for itself, and that's kind of what we did. You know, like there's I have like a couple pages where it's just like nothing but notes for Luigi. Like, hey, just make sure these beats are hit, and make sure this is here and that's there. But there's absolutely no words on the page. Like if you looked at Alan Moore's pages for his script his script for like what was it God, the big thing that did with Arkham, Batman, Joker.
Arkham Asylum?
No, the Joker thing. Last joke.
The Killing Joke?
Yeah, Killing Joke. Yeah, that one.
There
So, like, if you look at the scripts for the Killing Joke, right, there's just pages upon pages and paragraphs of just detail of what should be in that scene. And it's 80% detail, maybe like, it's actually more like 90% detail or 98% detail and like 1% dialogue.
Yeah. No, and
that's actually what comics need to be. And I kind of think that's why, Rags was kind of successful, because we just let the art, we let the art tell the story, and then we let the colors tell the story. And then, when we actually need the characters to speak, they needed to,
yeah,
we gave them bubbles. But, you don't need to have a character to you don't need, like, every superhero doesn't need to make like that stupid ass Joss Whedon quip.
That's true. No, I'm.
And Joss Whedon is honestly the worst thing to ever fucking happen to TV. Not because he was a terrible writer, but he's just got that Joss Whedon quippy thing. And every fucking creator I know tried to do the Joss Whedon quippy thing, and it comes off like shit. Like, dude, just let your character be in the moment. You don't have to say a quip for everything. You don't have to like kick down a door, say, "Hey, what's up, assholes?" and then start shooting. No, kick down the door, start shooting. Be business. Like, crack your jokes after your people are dead.
It's the soundbite approach. It's the same thing. So news went to little sound bites and little bit, small clips, and that was kind of the pacing of the news and how it went. Entertainment went for quips. So whether it was appropriate or not, it was this kind of jarring way you could move in and out of the episodes. You didn't really have to pay much attention to it. It was great for casual viewing, and that's what's happened. It's just that's the style, and hopefully we get a new style soon. But I mean. It is this stuff is painful. I think, like I said, Legion of Superheroes is just a painful comic to dig through. So I'm with you. Snyder stepping away is not great news in my mind, because I think Bendis will do more. But we'll see, I don't know. I'm interested to see how DC pulls all out. If we're talking historically, whenever
DC pulls out,
yeah, I know.
Pregnant.
They nice. Well, it's a good analogy though, because what DC typically does is they get on a good run, they start to do things fairly well, and then they just like, it's like, okay, now they can just start to draft. They've got the right pieces in place, and then it's like they purposely just steer off the road, or the condom breaks, or whatever analogy you want to use here. And just like with Rebirth, they had so much goodwill, they had some momentum, some people were coming into things, and it's like, hey, you know what would be good right now? Let's do Heroes in Crisis. And it's like, wait, why? Don't do that.
Yeah, because you know what everybody wants us to do? Everybody wants us to see us fuck with Wally West a little bit more. Yeah.
Everybody
that's gonna grab some new readers. No, it's not. Like, you know what I want to actually want to see. Like, if Marvel or DC, which they'll probably never hire me after this stream, but if they ever wanted us to like work for them, I need them to do something a little ballsy, and that stick to your guns. Like, stop events. Just stop all these stupid ass events.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Get creative teams together for certain books and have them do 100 issue runs.
Yeah, I think,
and just let the universe play out. And like, hey, if let's say Spider-Man wants to cross over with Deadpool, have those teams talk so you could have that thing happen. And then, hey, if you want to bring in a different team for that crossover, make sure that team has the notes from both teams so they can create a thing so it's still within the continuity of both books. Like, they just really need to just stick to their guns on shit, and they don't ever stick to their guns on anything. Like, they get up to like issue 6 and then they cancel stuff and start over, or they get to issue 12 and they cancel stuff and start over. Like, Iceman being gay. Like, look, let's talk about something that no one likes. Iceman being gay. Iceman being gay could have worked.
Oh, it could have, absolutely.
Absolutely, if they came back to that later, like if they just like kind of stuck with it and just kind of went through this little coping mechanism of Bobby, like, am I really gay? Am I not? Like, being conflicted about it. If they had him just conflicted about it, and then him finally realizing that Jean Grey used mind manipulation on him to turn him gay because she was pissed about him doing like homophobic stuff, that would work. That would absolutely work. People would buy it. It'd be cliche as hell, but people would buy that. And that would work.
You could have done. I mean, there's a lot of different ways I think it could have worked, but at the end of the day, more than anything, it was just hacky the way it was written. But
it was super hacky. It was just, what's his name? Sienna Grace or Med?
Sienna Grace came in to do that, but I think, and I made this point before, and it's not necessarily to defend Sienna Grace or anything, but
Sienna Grace wasn't right for it because he was more of like a children's book author.
Well, yeah, he was a bad pick for that title. I think I understand why Marvel put him in that title. I think everybody does, but
Token.
But he was not the right writer for that book. That's something I think he's saying now. Now, whether he felt that at the time or not, who knows? But the damage had been done. I mean, like, if I was coming in and they're like, hey, we want you to write solo Iceman book right after what Bendis had done, it's like, okay, thank you for handing me a time bomb. There's just, you handed me a big pile of crap. And it's like, good luck making a book out of that. At that point, you were done. But hey, somebody, this is a good comment here. Anything positive about comments? It's
funny. Actually, yeah, I have a lot of positive things to say about comics, right? There are a lot of great indie books that have come out through comics lately because people have been just so dissatisfied with the way the big two have been doing things. Look at Boom Studios and their Power Ranger runs. Boom Studios Power Ranger ones are amazing. They're absolutely amazing. I will be surprised if Boom doesn't take over for Marvel and DC.
Yeah, Boom is doing really, really well right now. And I mean, the reality is, I think there are a lot of good things about comics right now. I mean, it's funny because you go on these shows and the stuff you analyze tends to be more negative. That's kind of the nature of analyzing things, and analyzing in general often feels more negative. And sometimes you make fun of things, and that also skews more negative. But there are good comics. I mean, the crazy part is right now, with all the different content that's being produced from all the different publishers, big and small and everyone else, you can pretty much find something you're going to like. And I guess, trust me when I say, having been doing this game since the 80s, that hasn't always been the case. There's definitely been eras where there's just shit out there for nothing. And there is content out there. There is some good stuff out there. There are some good movements going on. This is gonna sound really weird, but I'm optimistic because the salaries of some of these people are starting to kind of pop out. That Business Insider article where it's like, hey, Marvel editors are making $30,000 to $35,000 a year living in New York.
I make more than a Marvel editor. That's so sad.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it's, as crazy as it sounds, that's a good fact to now get out in the open, because anybody can look at that and go, well, shit, that writer would be, or that editor would be way smarter just going to be an assistant manager at McDonald's. They'll make more.
Right? Like,
I mean, but that's,
I make this joke that, hey, if Marvel were to try to hire me as like a contractor, they couldn't afford me. And that's not like me being braggy. It's like, no, they honestly just couldn't afford what it would cost to cover what I make now on my normal day job to have me go write for them full time. But yeah, it's absolutely great that all those salaries are being disclosed right now. Because if you think like, hey, Marvel editors are getting paid like $38K a year. What are they paying their contractors to write for them?
Oh, I mean, it's a race to the bottom, and I think we talked about this last time that the way it often works is the editors will get a budget or some level of kind of it's like managing a portfolio. Your goal is to get as many titles out as possible for this limited amount of money, and where you put that money is like, let's get somebody expensive to do a cover, and let's cheap out on the art, and how much can we run the art down in terms of cost, and you're kind of, I don't know. I would say you're praised if you can get the cost down, but we're also here that editors are at Marvel for 3 years making $34K and never a raise. So I mean, it's just that's the game, and that's a negative thing to say, but it's a positive thing that this isn't a secret in the shadows anymore, because that encourages the chance that it may change, because
Right, and
nobody
that
with a right mind would do that.
no, and what that also lets people know is like, hey, you know what? If I want to be like an independent creator, it's actually probably more profitable to be an independent comic creator than to go be
Yeah.
a pro Marvel staffer.
And I also think if you have an idea for a comic, and somebody asked if I could talk about my comic, I'll talk about it in a moment. I promise. But if you want to put out a comic, the ability for you to do so is probably better right now than it's been in the kind of ever.
Amen.
You have
Amen. Like
lots
being
of
able to
research.
put look, if this drunken idiot could put out a 7-issue comic about a ginger trapped in a small town, running from zombies and just trying to find pants, you can do it too. That's the thing. Everybody should be able to put out a comic. All you need is like a very small budget. Can you go cheap on art? Yeah, probably. You just have to find the right artist that works for you. And then hey, printing and shipping, as long as you get those costs covered, it's not that hard. There's the days of you having to spend 7-8 grand on just to get one issue done are over, right? Sure,
Yes.
there's absolutely going to be the cost, the page rate of when you find an artist like, hey, I want you to work for me, so draw this 20-page script for me. Yeah, there's going to be cost of that. There's also going to be a cost for colors. There's going to be a cost for letters. You just have to research that all before you start diving face first into things. I would normally say you could ask me, but I'm no longer giving out advice because people just tend to like ignore me until it's dire. But that's a conversation for a different day.
Well, you've
But
blocked
anywho,
everyone too. So
what's up?
I said, and you blocked everybody too, right? So
Oh, yeah, I've blocked everybody.
that
Pro
that is
SJW, anti SJW. But like, hey, look. But you said you were digital first. Yes, I was absolutely digital first, right? And this is the thing about digital. You guys really need to get out of the mindset that like, oh, digital sucks. I want a physical copy. Look, support digital. Digital will actually end up paying for that physical copy. That's how that worked for us. If I'm selling a digital book for $1 and I'm like, hey, the threshold I would like to see is 500. So if I see 500 sales of a digital book, that lets me know that there's demand for at least 500 physical books. And if
yeah.
I could sell 500 digital physical books, hey, there you go.
No, so
Creation sucks. Like let's like from the bottom from starting out, creation sucks because it's like, oh, you got to find your audience, you got to market to the right group, and you got to go through every YouTube channel and promote. It's an endless cycle of promoting and begging. It's at sometimes like e-begging, but look, some people aren't able to just go the whole fucking Kickstarter route with all these stretch goals of like posters, prints, stickers, waifu pillows, hand towels, personal massagers, that whole crazy stuff.
Massager. Yeah.
Just look, you see a book, you see a creative team out there and they're doing a web comic, they're doing digital stuff, support it. Because one day they might be able to take all that all that data and be like, hey, look, we have enough data to say like, hey, we can take this to print.
Yep.
And we can go print that. Same thing with you assholes. Sorry. Same thing with people who say, well, I'm not going to pick up this book until the whole trade paperback happens. Well, you know what happens when you don't pick up the individual issues as a team is trying to put the stuff out? The trade paperback doesn't happen.
Yep.
Plain and simple. Because look, my issue 1, hell, all right, that's going for like 10. we see like 10,000 people have ordered that book, and then by issue 5, only 2,000 people have ordered the book. All right, so when we wrap this up, there's no reason to do a trade paperback because everyone just said, "Oh, well, I'm just gonna wait until the trade paperback is done," and that is absolutely the most asinine thing to to come about. Look, I get it. I get that. Like, hey, some people want to just binge everything all at once, and that's the new age of things, thanks to Netflix. But again, you know, if you want to see a creative team continue to do their thing, support them where you can. Like,
Right.
as an indie creator, like, look, I like to make this point. When Diamond shut down and said, like, hey, yeah, we're not gonna be able to ship anything, I didn't care. Like, that didn't affect me whatsoever. You know why? Because I have Patreon to support that part of my book. Now, I know some people hate Patreon for their politics and blah, blah, blah. I do too. But that's besides the point. Just having that platform where I can have like a monthly budget to pay Luigi to continue drawing and then pay to print and ship out stuff to people, you know, that that actually helps us keep going where everyone else had to go pencils down, you know.
Yep. No,
it's a tomato. But like, look, you gotta just like keep supporting the people where they're at. Like, yeah, I get it. Patreon has crap politics. They kicked off the guy you liked. I had nothing to do with that. And if there was a better way of going about things, we would absolutely hit that route. Doing like that whole crowdfunding thing on Kickstarter and Indiegogo is really not fun. I absolutely hate it. It's too stressful. There's that whole sequence of people, especially like if you're doing like a comic for the first time, crowdfunding is honestly not the way to fucking go. If you crowdfund like a book out the gate and you don't have like all your ducks in a row, you're an idiot. I see people right now, friends of mine, who have actually crowdfunded their book, hit their goals, and now they're paying off credit card debt because they didn't take project management in college, and they've actually blew their load. Or somebody didn't really take into account that lettering is its own art form, and if you don't have a good letterer, hey, your book's gonna look like shit. And also, we're talking about this, you know, not every page needs to have like words on it. And we're going back to Bendis here. Like, if you're trying to tell like a book that has constant narration on every page, you have to make sure that lettering is straight to make sure that everybody can read that. I'm probably hitting the nose, head on the hammer on the whatever. Probably getting like too direct with this one. But
no. I hope if you're an indie comic creator, just kind of go back, listen to the last 4 minutes of there. That's the best advice you're gonna hear, honestly, in all front. And so this is where we're making life too complicated for ourselves. In a lot of cases, if you're an independent comic creator, your number one goal should be to get something made and get it out. Everything else is secondary. Amen. Where you get it out, it doesn't really matter. You've got to you've got to get your own mental exercise going of actually being able to produce something. You've got to go and get some people to look at it. And too many people like second guess themselves. They're trying to think like they're Marvel trying to put books in a comic shop, or they see a guy making $1 million on crowdfunding and they're like, I got to chase that route. The best way to do it is to make something, get it out, put it on the easiest platform you have access to, learn from it, and keep going and keep going. That's what you must do. That is the path to success. Everything else, you fuck yourself up.
Yep.
I mean, so many of these people, and I think that's really good advice. Doing crowdfunding right out the gate as your very first go, you're going to learn the really hard way. One of two lessons: either you're not going to know everything and you're going to come off looking foolish and not get the fans you hope, or you're going to have to tie yourself to something that has nothing to do with comics. And by that, I mean, you're going to have to go out and promote with chats and with everything and just chase that game. And that's all time that's going to take away from you producing the comic.
Right. And then you also have like these people like, oh, I'm going to go on Indiegogo and I'm going to make $1 million, just like Sean Gordon Murphy or that other guy that wrote that Candle Angel book thing, which I don't remember his name. Or, like I'm going to make $1 million like Ethan Van Sciver did. Look, here's the thing about Ethan Van Sciver. Ethan Van Sciver has love him, hate him, whatever, it doesn't matter. Here's some truth about this dude. He has spent his entire career building up that audience so he can make that $1 million crowdfunding campaign. If you're making, if like you thinking like, hey, my first crowdfunding campaign is going to make $10 million because, you know, my stuff is the business. No,
it won't.
You got to spend that time chasing the audience, cultivating the community, and showing that, hey, you can do the work, that you can write, that you can draw, that you can meet deadlines, that you can ship stuff out on time, that you can actually say, hey, I can crowdfund this book and put it out. I have friends, I have buddies right now. They're on their second year of me waiting on their shit to complete, and I'm probably not going to back their next shit. And it's tough to say, and it's probably the me talking, but it's tough to say this to these guys. But hey, look, it's been 5 or 6 months since you last updated your campaign and let people know what's going on. You really got to be like, you can't just like crowdfund something and not communicate with your with your community, you know, like who the hell are you? That's just gonna make me look at you and be like, oh, you have no idea what project management is, and you can't manage a project. What is going to make me trust you with my money? And again, going back to Ethan Van Sciver, like, love him or hate him, he has drawn some really good high profile books for Marvel, DC, Kerman Comics. Like, that guy has got a history. So
he knows the tricks too, and by tricks,
he knows the tricks. He knows the tricks of the trade. He knows how to rile people up. He knows how to calm them down. Like, no, the guy is a master of what he does. Like, I'm complimenting I'm complimenting the man right now. Like, Nathan Van Sciver is a master of doing what he does. And someone thinking that, hey, I'm going to start my comic book that nobody heard about and make Ethan Van Sciver money, you're retarded, because that guy has spent his entire life perfecting his craft and being who he is.
That's right.
And there's nobody's going to touch him doing that stuff, right? Like, my rival right now is Timothy Lim. I'm never going to beat Timothy Lim because Timothy Lim is just always going to be better at doing stuff than I am. So I have to do the best I know how to do as Brian Ball.
Except the Squirrel Girl pitch. I think you beat Tim on the Squirrel Girl pitch.
Oh, no, he's got nothing on that Squirrel Girl pitch. But man, I think.
But it is. We've had quite a roller coaster on this show, by the way. If you listen to the first half and the second half, two very different shows. Weirdly, as we both drank a lot more, we've got more coherent, I think. But
I'm only on my third bottle of mead. I don't know about you.
I'm on my fourth bottle of Pacifico, but that's
okay.
Like, again,
these are like 750 milliliters, though.
Yeah, it's a thimble full of alcohol. I think that, you know, when I talked to Brett Booth a while back, he said something kind of very not under the covers, but very quickly, that I think a lot of people missed, which is that part of how he meets schedules and does his thing is that he's got tricks. He's got tricks of how he lays out the pages, of how he draws. I mean, he's got ways that he can speed up to meet those deadlines. These tricks come, from what he said in the interview, and you talk to any artist, he'll tell you the same. These tricks come after a lot of experience. And Ethan Van Sciver, all these people, they all have done so much of this that they know how to do these things. And so if you're starting out new, you're looking at it, you're going, okay, well, I need to, do some super chats, and I need to, get some controversy going. I need to do all those pieces. Well, you haven't learned the tricks to actually produce your book. So you are automatically in a hole with no ability to dig out of it, and you're going to fail. You're never going to get to that level because you didn't learn any of the tricks. You didn't learn any of the ways to pace yourself to produce a book. The only way you do that is through experience. You can't learn it from YouTube. You can't learn it from just, pretend, just say, I'm going to try it. Be fearless, make your book, put it wherever you can, and don't be afraid of digital, because digital right now is the fastest way to get your work in front of other people. It is your road to publishing. It doesn't have to be your final destination. You can still hate it. You like the comic in your hands, collectors, I totally hear you. I'm with it. But your number one asset is getting your work in front of somebody's eyeballs. And today, publishing and digital is the absolute quickest route to do that. But anyway.
Yep.
There you have it. I don't know.
Hey, man, I forgot what I was ranting about.
I I don't remember either. We got on a good. This was a good. You know what's funny? I've heard now from a bunch of people that some comic shops are putting my videos on in the background, and that's charming. I don't know how they're putting up with that trash audio at times from a car, but man, I'm trying to picture in my head some comic shop and customers there looking around, and you are giving your Squirrel Girl pitch in the background.
That'd be so amazing. Like,
That'd be awesome.
who's this crazy drunk black guy? Black, quote unquote. You know, it's neither. It hasn't been proven yet.
We're still not sure. Yeah,
We're still not sure. Like, we haven't had a face reveal, but
we're gonna have we're gonna have a fun time. Anyway, it's a crazy. I don't know. It is a crazy time in comics. The guy who asked earlier, you know, is there anything positive? Like I said, there's a ton of positive things about comics. Honestly, it is a good time to be in comics, which sounds weird when you come on and you say, look at this kind of junk that the big two are doing and everything else. But to me, the biggest positive thing overwhelms everything else is the opportunity. The opportunity is really good to get your comics. I mean, no matter where you fall on a lot of the crowdfunding stuff and what's going on with these guys and everything else, whether you like the attitude or don't like the attitude. And for me, I think a lot of the various kind of shenanigans and hijinks, things people get up to, those are old man words, but I think they suck. I wish that drama wouldn't be infused into everything. I always think it's garbage when that happens, but
I ain't got time for that shit.
No, to me, that's it. I want to make money. And to me, some people have figured out a way to make money, but most haven't. And so to me, it seems wasteful. I don't want to be on that other end. But despite all that, comics are still getting made. And that's a good thing. I have to hang my head on that.
Yeah, it's absolutely good. I will co-sign on that. Like, you can go to Kickstarter right now and just type in rags, and you'll see the rags re-up. You're crazy. Re-up your audio. God, start.
Speaking of which,
yeah. Like you'll see like all sorts of crowdfunding campaigns like up and running. Like it's a good time to be a comic book creator or just to throw your own hat into the pile there.
It's the time.
Do we shit on the big two all the time? Yeah, that's because they're the big two. They should be setting the standard for everybody, and they're honestly have been failing the last 10 years.
Yep. No, and you know, even despite all that, there's comics from the big two that you wind up liking. I think Daredevil's a really good book. I found I am liking the Batman run right now. I'm liking a lot of different things. I mean, I find the crazy part is I can almost always find something I like from everywhere. It's just I can also equally find something that is insane, like Legion of Superheroes is batshit insane right now. We'll keep spamming these things. So somebody asked, I don't want to go too much of it, but yes, people ask. So yes, I do have a comic I'm putting together. I'm doing this this is going to sound really boring or scientific or cool, depending on your way to do it. But I'm going to show the math for everything I'm doing with this comic, meaning you're going to be along with me for the process. I'm going to show the pages. I want to get a bunch up. I'm about 45 pages in now that are finished. It's going to be about 100 pages, 120 pages total.
Oh man, did that not take you 2 years?
No, it didn't. I had to put my head down and do it. So
man. So what you're saying is you did 45 pages in a couple months, and it didn't take you 2 years, and you're not throwing it in at Walmart?
That's true. Yeah, exactly.
That's clucking amazing.
Not going to Walmart. It's crazy, isn't it? No,
that's clucking crazy, man.
I started at the
what the cluck?
I started about the end of the start of May. So I mean, yeah, it's it's frustrating. I'm with you.
Rufio.
I think so many people have burned bridges because of this stuff.
You can fight, you can fight, and you can.
The question: who do I have on art? Me. So you have me on art. You have me on story. You have me on everything. I am going to get somebody else to color it.
Who's your? Okay. I could, if you want to do me a huge favor. You can use my colorist.
I can.
Raven.
Okay, we should talk.
Yeah. You should DM me.
I've shown a few pieces of art. I don't know if this is going to be too logistically weird to try and put all this up on screen share. But yes, so the pitch of this story is a little strange, but it is about 120 pages. It's a self-contained story. It's
Strange.
Going to be.
I mean, like, is it naked chick running around during a zombie apocalypse looking for
It's
pants?
not that strange. Yeah.
Kind of strange, or is it just normie?
Yeah, no, it's not normie. It's going to be it's very, very violent. I will say so. It is going to be.
Oh, I like violence.
Yeah,
like
it's going to be
RoboCop.
Old Boy.
Like, okay, so we're talking like RoboCop violence, or that really lame PG-13 violence that they have since like the 90s.
This is some RoboCop violence. It's I think the big inspirations are probably things like I think Old Boy. You're going to see a lot of Old Boy in it.
What do you know about Old Boy?
The original Old Boy. Yeah.
Like the Korean Old Boy or the Spike Lee Old Boy?
No, the Korean Old Boy.
God damn. I didn't know you were a fucking weeb.
Yeah, it's going to be very violent. There's some superpower stuff in it, but it's mainly just kind of gritty. It's going to be a very gritty book, and
you know what you should do? Rename yourself the Weeb by Perch.
I should. My children will never forgive me.
Weeb.
It's. I hope you guys like it. It'll be fun. But the key is here. I'm going to put this out, and I'm going to show the process. I'm going to show who I'm paying where. I'm going to show all these different pieces. And so you guys can take it, the data, and do what you want with it. It is going to be printed. I'm going to finish it. I do not right now. I'm not planning on doing a Kickstarter, Indiegogo, or anything like that for it. I'm going to produce it. I'm going to get it out, and then we'll see what happens. But
okay, so I have a few questions.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you know what? Full disclosure, I've actually stopped giving people advice because they've taken my advice and just toss it in the trash, and then like, oh hey, I'm in trouble now. Can you please give me advice, Brian? So I don't give them advice. So first question, do you have a printer lined up?
Mm-hmm. I think so. I was talking to somebody yesterday who I think you're familiar with, but I probably shouldn't say, who's helping me out there.
Okay. All right. You can just DM me that and we'll talk. So how about lettering? How's your lettering? You have somebody to letter, or are you just lettering yourself? Are you paying for fonts?
I am paying for fonts. I paid for fonts.
Why are you paying for fonts? There's so many free fonts.
I know, but I'm old school and lame that way. Yes.
God, you just go to like DA font and God, like, oh God, all right, no, killing me, Smalls, killing me. All right,
yeah.
I'm gonna tell you guys, right? If you ever go pay for fonts, right? I'm gonna type this in chat. Go to dafont.com. There, you can find all the fonts you will need ever at DA font for free. And hey, no, if you want to throw the people money, you can throw the people money, right? Like you should not be paying for fonts like ever.
Well,
unless you're going to like Blambot, Blambot actually has some cool fonts that, yeah, okay, if you're going to use some of those, definitely pay for those because they're actually gnarly. But if you're just using like basic narration fonts, or you're not sure, or if it's your first time doing a comic, please, for the love of God, they actually got like some really nice manga style fonts there too. But please,
yeah,
don't put part of your comic budget into fonts.
Yeah, I do some commercial work, so I'm a little bit of a different story, but I think that is good advice. For sure. So I'll put some stuff up here, but anyway, it's going to be fun. This is an experiment. I've wanted to do this. I don't have any desires to be in comics forever. So this is just to see what this aspect of it looks like. And
so what you're saying is you're too good for comics.
No, I'm not saying I'm too good for comics.
Anyway, yeah, I see what you mean. You're too good for us.
Yeah.
You're just gonna take the money and run, like the Rags Take the Money and Run campaign back in 2019. Were we fulfilled as soon as you pledged?
Well, we'll see. It will be. This will be a fun little experiment. We'll see what you guys.
There's actually some pretty dope art, dude. Just throw that back on the screen. Who's that character, by the way?
Well, you'll see.
I have a feeling. These are all Japanese guys, so I'm gonna be like, this is Tamiko-san.
This is. I've got an American. I've got a Japanese. I've got a.
Whoa! People are just more than their race, man.
Well, okay.
A Japanese.
All right.
That's cool because like in rags, I have 2 gingers and an Asian.
Yeah, that's a good mix. Anyway, this will be a fun little process. Like I said, I'll keep you in here. This is when I do some early work. I just sketch it out and then get some things going on. So
yeah. Hey, can you do me a favor and click on Eric D?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a thing. Yeah. You still need to look at the licenses that come with those free fonts. Likelihood of legal problems is low, but you don't want to be the cautionary tale. Exactly. That is also the other side of everything when it comes to fonts.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you really, really shouldn't have to pay for fonts. Fonts are generally free.
Yeah. No, that's right. And kind of to that point, if you are doing commercial work with it outside of what you're doing, if you're doing something for someone else, don't use free fonts, or be careful when your art is going to somebody else who's going to do something with it, because it's leaving your control, but you're still in this liability chain. Just be a little cautious of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so some fun stuff. This is going to come out, I think, probably around January, February of next year. So that's the timing for me. But I'm going to share it all, and I'm not trying to make money off it. I'm just curious what happens. And there's some other stuff.
Oh no! Don't be like me. Make some profit, dude.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be some profit off it.
Oh God, yeah! Please, for the love of God, because you don't want Eliza Bar.
Don't
probably in the chat.
Don't
hide the artwork with word balloons either. Yeah, please, for the love of God, don't.
So, do any of you remember? By the way, this is one of my happy memories. Is going to some grocery store, I'm sure, and picking up this comic, and there were no words in it at all. It was a special issue of G.I. Joe, and it was a
oh God, it was the G.I. Joe silent. It was the G.I. Joe silent edition.
And that was like a badass issue.
It was the most badass.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's the most badass comic ever. I think Marvel did it with Spider-Man. It was just like no words, just art, the end, sort of a deal.
Yep.
That's actually my approach to comics, right? If you look at any of actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let me do this for your stream. Nope.
If any of you don't know what we're talking about, I mean that G.I. Joe comic, it was incredible. Marvel kind of did a ripoff, years and years later, kind of a silent month, but it wasn't. They didn't have the storytellers at the time. This comic was so great because the writer was putting together a comic where the art was going to tell the story, but it was still a very compelling story. It wasn't just a bunch of splash pages. It was very, very cool. And that was Assistant Editors Month. That's right.
Yep. All right.
That was an amazing comic.
All right. So. All right. So you guys might get through. All right. So this is all censored, right? So we got bunnies, so we could be on stream, right?
Yeah.
So look, your pages, your pages should have the minimal amount of words on the page to cover the art. You should not have a shit ton of words everywhere, minimal amount of words.
Yeah.
And Bendis, what he likes to do is he likes to fill everything with monologues, thought bubbles, even this right here. All you need to know is this person was talking, this thing happened, and then bam, Mortal Kombat X-ray move.
Yeah.
Let the art sell the work for you. You don't need 8 word bubbles worth of monologues to let people know that, hi, I am Grog, Lord of the Thundercats, 3rd generation,
Absolutely.
Birth after line of nose, 9th of his line, 10th of his name, first to slay the warg, mother of dragons, all that jazz. Like this. This is absolutely effing disgusting.
Yeah. I mean, why are you hiring an artist at this point?
Right?
I mean, there's no need. I like how the little StreamYard duck is right over her face there. That's some good stuff.
That's
it's like even StreamYard's like, oh, we need to cover up this art. It always strikes me as amazing that Bendis gets some pretty high quality artists to work with him. Kevin McGuire is so good at expressive pages that why in the world do you hire him to come in who does amazing work with images and then fill it up with 10,000 Joss Whedon word bubbles? It's just this is madness.
Yeah, this is absolutely ridiculous. This is actually an insult to the artist.
Yeah.
Like there's actually like dialogue in Rags where I've actually just cut it because the art just sells it. The art itself is like let me see if I can.
Yeah.
This was
but
great.
I think it comes down to this is maybe I'm guessing it, but this feels like a place where the editorial writer relationship is broken down. Where
no, this should be caught in the script.
Yeah.
This absolutely should be caught in the script. All right, I'm going to share my screen one last time, and you'll see the.
While you're doing that, everybody, we'll probably wrap this up in a few minutes. So if you got any last questions, bring them in. Let's see what Brian's got for us here.
All right, we'll start from here. Right, we'll share the screen. Application window. Bam. All right. So pull that in.
Oh, yep. Sorry.
Yep. All right. So this is the start of a fight scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
You do not need any words whatsoever to sell what is going on. You know, he's shooting. He's calling her a bad name. She's talking back, and then she's ready, and then just going. Bam. Just straight up words. Just no quips, nothing. That's it.
I absolutely agree. No, it's
Josh Whedon will probably have like this panel's filled up to here, this here filled up to here, this to there, that to there. Like you don't need that in a book. You just let the art sell it for itself. As a matter of fact, we could probably just look at the pages by themselves, and you can look at the pages and just fill in the blanks with your own word with your own words, and probably still come up with the same thing.
I mean, look at this. I mean, I to me, this feels like there was a wasted opportunity. I mean, here's clearly, this looks like a Bendis self-insert, but it's like he clearly missed out on this space. Like, how did this slip by without filling up more bubbles over here? I mean, I don't know. I always question when I see stuff like this. I always question, one, why'd you hire an artist at all? Two,
at this point, at this point, you're writing a novel. Yeah. You're absolutely writing a novel, and then you want to talk about why manga is doing so much better than Western comics, because manga's not preaching to you.
Yeah,
like you're not wasting. Yeah, you're not doing something like this where you're wasting panels. Everyone's just got says something. No, just you probably could have cut it at Spider-Man. Hell, you could have cut it at guy with star in his chest, whose name I don't recall at this point.
That's Marble Boy, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I didn't know.
No, that's not Marble Boy. What am I saying? That's crap. I've drank too much.
North Star?
No, it's part of the original New Warriors. Somebody in the chat will mock us for how stupid we sound right now, but yes.
Look, he's not drawn memorable, so we'll cut him out, right?
Yeah,
we'll definitely cut him out, and we'll say hey, you could have gone to Hulkling, you could have Wolverine's a little much, Captain America could have stopped.
Yeah,
Cheetah doesn't say anything. Patriot doesn't say anything. Tigra. I don't know why I call her Cheetah, but Tigra, yeah.
Yes.
But you definitely. This is right here where you could have cut.
Thank you. This is justice. What are you saying? Poor Wiccan.
That's justice.
This is justice. Yeah.
That doesn't look like the Justice. Doesn't Justice have white hair?
No.
I'm gonna get back to you on that.
Well, I mean, it can't all be stuff like this. So what can we say?
Yeah. So this is why manga is just knocking everything out of the park. Look at this, right?
Yeah.
You have flames, yeah, just people yelling.
Crazy
That's
action.
fine. Crazy act. This is all action for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 panels, just all crazy setup action. Then you have action,
Yep.
action, action. Like you don't even need these guys to say anything. No Josh Whedon quips, nothing. Nothing.
It's nuts.
Like, and this is kind of what when we start doing Rags season 2 riches, we'll we'll try to start going like more manga style in how we do stuff, because that's really the way comics should be done anyway. You should have minimal amount of dialogue when it comes to fights, and just bam. Just let the art sell itself, man. Like, even if you're doing like some slice of life sort of comic, just draw your characters holding hands, zoom up real close on it, zoom it up on their faces, and let the art sell the story for you. We actually did something really I would like to say is unique, and where we have multiple layers of story elements where, yeah, the art tells a story, but also the colors tell a story, and then the dialogue that you read tells a story. So if you're not paying attention to all 3 layers, you're going to miss something. So hopefully when people go back and read everything from start to finish, they'll catch everything that we did. But god damn, man, just let the art tell the story.
Let the art tell a story. It's not it doesn't have to be that difficult. And I mean, it's a strange place, but we went on quite a journey today. Brian, hey, thank you very much for joining and giving your time here today. It's
anytime. Thanks for the $120 that you paid me to come on.
Absolutely, no problem.
Oh wait, I mean,
hey, how do people? Oh, you don't need the 2 @ signs. How do people get a hold of you? So there you are on Twitter. Are you leaving Twitter?
I'm actually off Twitter right now. My one of my interns, Taquan, handles Twitter, and if
yeah, you bailed. That's right.
Yeah, I've absolutely bailed on Twitter, so Twitter can go fuck itself. I don't have to deal with Comics Gate, anti-Comics Gate, either fucking side anymore. It's fucking gonna be great. I can live my life to the fullest. But if you do DM the Rags account, Daquan will let me know, and I will respond. But you can totally get a hold of me. I guess just message Daquan on Twitter, and Daquan will get a hold of me. We have an Instagram, which is at Nanco. You can go to newageninjacore.com find our email address, ragzombie.com. You can also message us there. You can also hit us up on Patreon, patreon.com/Nanco. We're also on Subscribestar.
How about TikTok?
No, because we don't support the Chinese.
Oh, okay.
Racist. Yep. No. It's just I don't support China. Then I don't get into politics anyway. But yeah. You can also hit us up at ragzombie@gmail.com. We'll do our best to answer you there, but because that email just gets full of "you're a dick because you undercut me on eBay." Yeah, sorry. Oh yeah, by the way, if you really don't want to do the Kickstarter, the Indiegogo, the Patreon, whatever, you just want the books, send me an email. We'll work something out. I'll definitely get the books to you. It's not a thing. I'm not into low print count, limited run books. That's stupid considering the technologies these days. So yeah, I might piss off the speculator market because you're not able to flip a book because you're not be able to flip a book for $200. But hey, look, if you find one of my books from Patreon and it's on eBay for anything over $20, message me, let me know. I'll send that to you for $20.
Yeah, I mean, I really appreciate it. So one, I appreciate your time tonight, and also I do think you have made a choice clearly to try and make it accessible, make it easy for people to get your stuff. And I think
absolutely,
that's really
absolutely no excuse for pirating, no excuse for not picking it up other than I don't like zombies. Which, hey, you know what? That's fair. Or hey, no, Brian, you blocked me on Twitter. You're a dick. Like, all right, no, that's also fair. But it's there if you want to read it. The art is by far better than anything you'll see mainstream comic books right now. I mean,
It is very good.
look, like I'm gonna tell you, like Luigi is an art god. Luigi is such an art god. He's got something. No, I'm gonna show this last thing. This was gonna be like a Patreon exclusive thing, but I'm gonna show it because Perch, you paid me $200 to be on your stream.
Get that money's worth, yeah.
Yep. So here you go. Bam. So this is something Luigi's working on right now. It's gonna be a Patreon exclusive planet. Oh wow! It's not. It's safe for work.
Very nice.
Yeah. So Luigi's working on right now. As you can see, the line works there. He's almost done with the second character. This is kind of like a Dragon Ball reference that we're doing, but the guy that does our cover art is the same guy that does the interior art. So yeah, I would love to have Alex Ross or Jason Scott Campbell to do like cover art for Rags, but unfortunately, I don't have Alex Ross or Jason Scott Campbell money because people aren't buying the book of those numbers. But one day, maybe.
I think I think you've got a great art team that works with you, and it fits the book. And again, it's great stuff. I think always entertaining.
Always entertaining. I mean, we had okay, all right. This is like my last drunken thing. So earlier in the stream, Cody from Jack Irons, please support Jack Irons on Indiegogo. Great book, great creative team there, like better than we are. Like, oh god, he's so good. He absolutely needs your support so he can keep his work going. But anyway, he pointed out that me and the speculator market kind of got into it, and what had happened was, short story short, or long story short, the speculator crowd found out that, hey, we have Patreon exclusive variants that we only do for Patreon, right? And people were selling those on eBay for $200, $300, $400, $900, and it was getting really stupid. And I was actually kind of.
Uh-oh. All right, we may have just lost you.
Yeah, like you're being predatory and you're taking advantage of people, right? Like, here's all the hard work the team is doing, and then you're freaking just reselling a book for 8 times the price, and we're just gonna give it to that person for less than that, right? So anyway, the speculator crowd, they put out like this YouTube thing where like, yeah, Rags is a scam, and then we got shat on by CBSI and all these other places, Comic Tom, the whole deal. And then we kind of went on this live stream, we crashed it, just kind of plead our case, like, hey, look, we're not a scam, we just kind of see things a different way, and this is why we do things. Spoiler alert, a lot of the variant covers that we do are actually story spoilers, and I don't want those getting out. And if someone's spoiling the story, I kind of like ban them so they can't spoil the story more, because there's nothing more frustrating than have your story spoiler, right? So if you look at issue 7, there, I think I even showed the page here, and I'll probably have to ban myself later, but there's a spot where Regina says to somebody, hey, do you want to see my Mortal Kombat move? And in issue 4, we actually had a Mortal Kombat cover. So I really wasn't lying when I said, like, hey, look, our cover art isn't just random. Oh, we're going to have Jason Scott Campbell draw a sexy cover, or us, Rox, draw a sexy cover. No, our variant covers are story spoilers. Like, everything that we do comes back to the story in some way. It may not pay off now, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but it will eventually pay off. Like, we have a cover where Regina is standing on the shoulder of a giant robot. Again, that's kind of a story spoiler. I didn't want that going out. There's also a cover where Regina is sitting with USAGI from Black Ops. We're going to do a crossover with that. there's story spoilers in there. We don't want all that spoiled, you know.
Yeah.
But then again, Antarctic got that covered, so I guess we kind of screwed ourselves at that point. But anyway, I digress. The point is, like, we do certain things a certain way, and you know, we got accused of doing all this dirty shit, and it's like, no, you guys just don't understand the way we're doing stuff. You're just making assumptions. And the speculator crowd, I have to be very careful how I say this, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with speculation.
Now
There's
you're being
nothing
careful.
wrong. There's nothing wrong with collection. But know the community that you're walking into, right? If you're
Yeah.
the type of, because I had to deal with this the other day and it kind of pissed me off. Like, like some guy said, like, hey, I can't get all the key issues for my collection, so I'm just not going to support after blah blah blah. Like, yeah, okay, well, bye. I'm not here to listen to you cry. I'm just here to put out a piece of work and have people enjoy it. And if I can get the book to people, I'm absolutely going to do it. So at the end of the day, right? I don't care if you're just here to flip the book or not. If you see anything of ours on eBay and I can get it to you for cheaper, I absolutely will get it to you cheaper, even if I have to come out of pocket for it. That's the name of the game.
And that's really, I mean, it's true. I know some people you've done that for. So it's I mean, it's very impressive. I thank you. I think more people should check you out. You're very, very customer friendly. I understand there's some people who are upset about the blocking, but in all reality, that's a story for another time.
Oh man, the blocking.
That'll be a very long story. But the work itself, you do go out of your way to try and get your work to people who want it, and I think that's really awesome.
Yeah, and that's why we're doing the Kickstarter. That's why we're doing the Indiegogo. There's people who said, like, yeah, I don't like Patreon, so I'm not going to back your Patreon. Look, here's a Kickstarter. Well, I don't like Kickstarter. Well, we're going to do an Indiegogo next for everybody that likes these things. We're going to go out of our way to make sure that you have every opportunity to get this book if we can make it happen. And even if you miss the Indiegogo, if you miss the Kickstarter, shoot me an email. Say, hey, I want to read issue like 1 through 6. Matter of fact, let me drop this in chat real quick before I go. I'll probably do this in private chat too. But we have a little mini manga. Perch calls it digest size.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just this little mini pocket sized it was an experiment I was doing and it actually became popular. So if you just want to grab one right now, here's the link in the channel. And then I'm going to shoot this to boop. There you go. If you want to grab and look at the first 6 issues, there it is. We try to make it as cheap as possible to cover printing and the other costs that I would have to pay out of pocket. Very, 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 very minimal. I think I make like 99 cents off of everything. So
it's cool stuff. I mean, I was going to put a photo up here real quick. It'll be a good thing to end on if I can get it, get this transferred over quickly. But yeah, so this is a nice stack of books.
Yeah. And I actually sent that to Perch at cost. So I actually lost money on that.
You lost. I said, don't let yourself lose money.
Yeah. But it's like,
okay,
look, here's the minimum. I just wanted the minimum amount to cover the shipping, and that was fine. But I will absolutely go out of my way to get this to you if you want to check it out and read it. Absolutely.
Yep. Well, it's good stuff. Again, Brian, so thank you very much for all the time. Everybody who's been in the chat, asking the questions, everything. Thank you very, very much for coming. The last week or so, I've gone up like close to 800 subscribers. I have no idea why, but thank you. Whatever bot is doing its job, I appreciate that. And we'll be back again next week. And yeah, thank you very much, Brian.
Anytime that you pay me the $250 for me to show up.
I'll do a GoFundMe. We'll get it going.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Talk to you guys soon.
Stay black.